Okay.
Okay, I'll start the YouTube streaming.
And then Jovil and Francis, can we have the background music? But there'll be more drama.
Okay, sir.
Of the
Thank you.
YouTube streaming.
And then Jovil and Francis, can we have the background music? But there'll be more. Palasar Francis, good afternoon.
First speaker for this afternoon, Dr. Val Randolph Madrid.
Dr. Val is muted, or is this a pre-recorded video? Okay, there's no sound. Probably what you can do is you have your option that is
the cycle continues. While UP Los Baños as a research university may have outgrown its original mandate as mainly an agricultural university, its strength and excellence is their focus on food security and environmental sustainability. We at UPLB Occupational, Interdisciplinary Research Lab, or SINRA Lab, aim to address the challenge and these problems in light of the more internationally regulated paradigm in the context of UPLB. The initial vision began with the invention of the picture by Russell Kirk, who asked the question of difference.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Francis, we can stop the video already. Okay.
And maybe you can start recording, Greg.
Okay. A moment.
Nakuha na.
Oh, okay. So it's recording now. Oops. Stop ulit. I'll record again. Recorded over the cloud of Jimmy.
Oo, cloud.
Okay. Record. Okay.
Good afternoon once again. Welcome to the afternoon session of our second day of the fourth Information and Computing Education virtual conference. This afternoon, we have two major agenda, and the first is on the CHED Consultative Forum on the BS in Data Science, and the second one is on the update of the PCAB. And as we all know, what was discussed starting yesterday is all about data. And as they say, data is the new science now. And I think it is very more fitting to have and to craft a draft for a BS or a guidelines for higher education institutions, as Dr. Alan Shoson said, that the learning institutions have big role in data science. Without further ado, I would like to turn over the screen and the moderation to our facilitator of this afternoon's CHED Consultative Forum for the proposed program on Bachelor of Science in Data Science. Our facilitator is Dr. Greg Victor Gabison.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Good
Greg?
afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Just in case for the others who are, if ever you have your colleagues or having a hard time getting in, I'll be posting again the link in the chat box, and then please share it to them. Okay, so this is actually a Zoom conference link, but they'll have to register again. Okay, and then with that, they'll be getting the link immediately after. So good afternoon, everyone. I'll be facilitating the consultative forum for the proposed Bachelor of Science in Data Science. As you may know, as what David mentioned, data is the science, it's the new oil, and everyone is actually so much engrossed in knowing how to take advantage of it or how to manipulate it, how to process it. But do take note that we should always be guided that when we try to process data, the idea is always to look forward to something that we should be dictated by something that should be good. Okay. With that said, for the event today, for the consultation, we have the main proponent of the Bachelor of Science Data Science. It's actually the technical panel for information, um, a member of the technical panel for information, for computing and IT, and but at the same time the lead for the technical committee on information systems. A little bit of history. We started working on this. I was part of the initial group, and up to now, that happened somewhere in 2017, where we drafted the initial version of this program. Okay, it happened in Clark, Pampanga, or in Pampanga, and we had representatives from industry as well as the academe. And with this, some of them will be joining us, and some of them may not be able to join us because of some other commitments. Okay. With that said, I'd like to introduce the team or the different members who will actually compose the panel discussion today. And do take note, this is actually a consultative forum. So meaning to say, we are expecting everyone to partake in the discussion. And if ever you have questions, you may fire those questions in the chat box so that I can be able to check them out later. And since this will be a dynamic discussion, time by time, I will be taking some cue from the questions, and politely I'll be asking the speaker if ever it's okay to simply interrupt them. And we also have panelists who will do some reactions. And since we're doing this one, we're given 2 hours and 30 minutes for this. The presenter, who will be introduced in a while, will be given about 40 to 45 minutes, if that would be enough. Then afterwards, we will ask the different members of the panel. They'll be given at least 5 minutes, but less than 10 minutes to react and to share some thoughts regarding the proposed Bachelor of Science, Data Science degree program. Okay. And do take note, this is actually the almost final release candidate of the BSDS version, but since this is a consultative forum, inputs could be taken in and could actually be integrated with respect to another more final version of this Bachelor of Science Data Science. I know time is running out, and in some other countries, the data science bachelor's degree is already out in the open. But nevertheless, as my mantra would say, better late than never. Okay, at least it would be something. And it again, just like any other program, the context would always be a work in progress. If even if ever it would be released as already as a with a CMO tagged with it, it would always still be a work in progress. So with that said, allow me to present the different personalities who will be involved in today's consultation. So starting with our presenter, Dr. Jimmy Caro from UP Diliman. Dr. Jimmy, can you say hi or do the waving action?
Hello, I'm
Okay,
glad to be here with
okay. Thank you, Dr. Jimmy. And then from the panelists, starting off with the academe, we have Dr. Rafi Cabredo from De La Salle. Dr. Rafi,
Hello, good afternoon.
we're not seeing your video, Dr. Rafi, for a moment,
Yes,
but
I'm just fixing my video right now. Sorry.
Okay, I'll be calling you back because as part of our requirement, you'll have to be recognized and with respect to showing your video or camera. Okay, or else well, we might be construed as simply trying to do something else. Okay. Anyway, uh, then we have Dr. Larmi Felescuso from CIT University. Dr. Larmi.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay.
Brave.
Okay. I love your hair. Okay. I love your hair. So probably you're doing your own hairdo by yourself. Then we have Dr. Thelma Palawag from the University of Cordillera. Am I correct, Dr. Thelma?
Yes, Dr. Greg. Good afternoon to everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you're wearing a jacket, so probably it's really cold right now in Baguio, and hopefully next year we will be going up in Baguio. We'll be given a chance to go up in Baguio. Okay. And from the industry and practitioners, we have first we have Dr. Rex Alao. Dr. Rex.
I'm good afternoon, Dr. Gabisan. It's good to be here. Good afternoon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rex. And then hopefully Mr. Sherwin Pelayo, also from the Analytics Association of the Philippines, is around. Okay, but probably if not,
Oh, wala po ata siya.
wala pa. But I think he will be
I'll
joining later.
I'll give you a ring. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Dr. Rex. But he has already committed yesterday. Okay. Okay. And then he promised even to bring some other guys like Colin Christie. I hope. Yeah. Okay, I saw their names. So anyway, coming from this end, I would now be turning over to the floor now to Dr. Jimmy to open up the panel discussion or this consultative forum with a presentation of the draft PSG.
Okay. Wait. Am I? Yes. Okay. You can hear me. So this draft PSG or policy standards and guidelines for the Bachelor of Science in Data Science and Analytics DSA program. So the original draft is BSDS. I think Chad wants us to include the analytics part. So the new proposal is BSDSA. Initiated by the CHED Technical Committee on Information Systems with my colleagues Greg Victor Gabison, Oliver Malabanan, Lorena Rabago, and Nancy Flores. But this has also undergone numerous workshops, consultations, and we have already incorporated input from other groups, including the statistics group, the business group, under CHED technical panels. And okay, so let me continue with the presentation of this draft. So it starts with the rationale on the new developments of technology, methodology, processes, and systems in data science. The need to understand and analyze data in various forms, use techniques and different theories from computer science, mathematics, statistics, and other related disciplines to develop a new breed of future-ready graduates with the competencies and skills for this job. Apply machine learning, data mining, statistical modeling, business intelligence, and other theories. So, general provisions, HEIs are allowed to design a curriculum suited to their own context and missions, provided that they can demonstrate that the same leads to the attainment of the required minimum set of outcomes. So there's a minimum set of program outcomes, and there are program educational objectives that must be met. Okay. Graduates of this program shall be conferred the degree of Bachelor of Science in Data Science and Analytics. The BSDSA program includes study of data and the methodologies, processes, algorithms, and systems for collecting, refining, storing, and analyzing data to arrive at useful insights and knowledge. So data science is a discipline in computing that benefits from developments in computer science, mathematics, statistics, business, and other disciplines. So it is recognized that it is a multidisciplinary area that and anyone who will specialize in data science also need to have domain knowledge in some other areas. So the graduates must be equipped with knowledge and skills for processing, management, and analysis of data in various forms, must be competent, innovative, creative, and responsible problem solvers with commitment to contributing in nation building. So these are the primary job roles: data scientist, data analyst, research and development, computing professional, systems analyst, data engineer, data quality assurance specialist. And then these are defined as allied fields. Later on, you will see what that means, that what are the implications of this. Allied fields are computer science, information technology, information systems, information management, mathematics, applied mathematics, statistics, information science, and industrial engineering. The program outcomes, these are the outcomes that are common to all programs in all types of schools, prescribed by CHED for all programs under CHED. So I won't read this 5 program outcomes anymore. These are common to all programs under CHED regardless of major. And then these are the program outcomes specific to data science and analytics. So 1, the student should be able to apply knowledge of computing fundamentals, mathematics, statistics, and appropriate domain knowledge in solving problems. Number 2, analyze complex problems and apply principles of data science and other relevant disciplines to identify solutions. Number 3, design, develop, evaluate solutions for complex data science problems for specific needs. Next, create, select, adapt, and apply appropriate techniques, resources, and modern tools to complex data science activities. 5th is function effectively as an individual and as a member or leader in diverse teams and in multidisciplinary settings. Next, communicate data stories effectively and create insightful reports, design documentation, presentations, and other output. Number 7, ability to recognize, start i-edit yun na, to recognize the legal, social, ethical, professional issues involved in the handling and utilization of data or discuss, no? Then recognize the need and have the ability to engage in independent learning for continual development. So some of these may need some corrections. So this is a public consultation and discussion, focus group discussion prior to finalizing the PSG for submission to CHED. Ang proseso kasi niyan, you draft, a draft is created and then magkakaroon ng, it gets endorsed by a technical panel and then to the CHED, and then they schedule public consultations like this one, and then after that we revise based on the public consultations. We may if needed we have another set of workshops, and then we submit again, get endorsement from the technical panels. In this case, we probably would get endorsement from different technical panels, not just IT education computing. And then it will be submitted to the CHED and bank for final approval, and it becomes a CHED memorandum order or CMO. So ito hindi pa ito CMO, this is just a proposal. Okay. These are minimum performance indicators, just samples of minimum performance indicators. Completed and successfully defended capstone project. That's the most important part, I guess. And then we have the curriculum. The minimum total units is 146. Ito prescribed to. Saka ito, there should be 12 computing, 12 math, 12 stat, and then 48 data science and analytics courses, including OJT, research methods, capstone project. And then there should be 12 units of professional electives. Importante yung electives because students should have domain knowledge in some domain, no? And not just purely tool knowledge. Okay. The data science and analytics curriculum includes foundation and professional courses that cover core computing courses as well as major courses in mathematics, statistics, and data science. The curriculum should include courses in the knowledge areas as recommended in the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Data Science and Analytics competencies, as well as in the ACM Data Science recommendations. We'll see that in a while. So these are for this APEC Data Science and Analytics competencies. Ito yan. So business and organizations. There are three areas na business, technical skills, and then workplace skills. So let's look at business and organization skills: operational analytics, data visualization and presentation, data management and governance, domain knowledge and application. The Analytics Association of the Philippines was very much involved in the formulation of this, including Dr. Rexala, who is here with us. So technical skills, statistical techniques, computing, data analytics methods and algorithms, research methods, data science engineering principles. And then for workplace skills, collaboration, communication, and storytelling, ethical mindset, organizational awareness, critical thinking, planning and organizing, problem solving, decision making, customer focus, flexibility, business fundamentals, cross-cultural awareness, social and societal awareness, dynamic self-reskilling, professional networking, and entrepreneurship. These are the 21st century skills that are crucial to the data science and analytics competencies. So aside from that, there are data science knowledge areas identified in the Association of Computing Machinery ACM Data Science Task Force, which published the computing competencies for undergraduate data science curricula in January 2021. So this follows the work of previous ACM curricular volumes for different computing programs. So there are ACM curricula for computer science, information technology, information systems that we already try to follow in the ACM CHED memorandum orders, although it's about time maybe to also revise them based on the new ACM recommendations. The BSDSA curriculum must include the core computing discipline specific knowledge areas for data science as follows. So these are the data science knowledge areas identified in the in the ACM. Sorry. Analytics and presentation, artificial intelligence, big data systems, computing and computer fundamentals, data acquisition management and governance, data mining, data privacy, security, integrity, analysis for security, machine learning, professionalism, programming, data structures and algorithms, software development and maintenance. For a full curriculum, the above knowledge areas need to be augmented with competencies in the following areas: calculus, discrete structures, elementary statistics, linear algebra, probability, advanced topics in statistics. There's also internship, which is required in the proposed BSDSA. It's an immersion program to apply the skills, knowledge, attitude learned, experience the corporate environment. So students are eligible to enroll the internship after completing 70% of the total number of units in the curriculum. And minimum number of internship hours is 320 hours. So that can be one full semester, for example. Capstone project is required for BSDSA. It's a terminal project requirement. It will demonstrate that a student's comprehensive knowledge of the area of study and research methods used, apply the concepts and methods to a specific problem in their area of specialization. So the capstone project, like other capstone projects in the other computing courses, will integrate the different courses, knowledge, competencies learned in the curriculum. Students are encouraged to produce innovative results, generate new knowledge or theories, or explore new frontiers of knowledge or application areas. It's an undertaking appropriate to a professional field and should significantly address an existing problem or need. The common courses, the only courses that are actually specified in the program are Intro to Computing, Computer Programming 1, Computer Programming 2, Data Structures and Algorithms, and Information Management. So these are common to BSDSA, BSCS, BSIS, BSIT. Although the other three programs have 15 units in common, but these are just 12 of the 15. The fifth one, which is also recommended as an elective or if you have, you can also include it as a requirement, but not prescribed here, is the course on applications development. So in this PSG, we provided a sample curriculum, and a sample curriculum map. These are samples that can be revised by the schools, by the HEIs. Higher education institutions can adapt them based on their needs, the needs of their students, the needs of the employers, future employers of their students. Okay. So in this sample curriculum, there are 12 units of core computing, which I mentioned earlier. There are 12 units of mathematics and 12 units of statistics. The math requirement here includes Calculus 1, Calculus 2, discrete structures, and linear algebra. The statistics requirements include Intro to Stat, computer-aided statistical inference, computational statistics, and exploratory data analysis. All these 4 courses in statistics were recommended by the Technical Committee on Statistics of the CHED Technical Panel on Science and Mathematics. They also recommended 6 units of calculus. Okay. For the sample curriculum, the 48 units of professional courses are prescribed. So here are the professional courses in the sample curriculum. Intro to Data Science, Programming for Data Science. In the detailed write-up, we have the descriptions for each of these. Algorithms and Complexity, Artificial Intelligence, Data Visualization and Presentation, Business Intelligence, Machine Learning and Data Mining, 1, Data Management and Warehousing, Principles of Big Data, Information Security and Data Privacy, Special Topics in Data Science, and Special Social Issues and Professional Practice. So there's also the on-the-job training, the research methods, the capstone project, which are also requirement. And these are sample electives: Internet of Things, Network Analytics, Natural Language Processing, Machine Learning and Data Mining 2, and so on. So the electives are very flexible, so HEIs can put in elective. These are sample electives or even recommended electives, but HEIs can also offer other elective courses based on their expertise, based on the needs of their students, and based on the needs of the industry. Using CHED Implementation Handbook for OB and ISA as reference, HEI should develop the curriculum, program outcomes, additional program outcomes, performance indicators, the outcomes-based syllabus for each course, the proposed system of program assessment and evaluation, and the continuous quality improvement CQI system. So these are the minimum qualifications of faculty members: at least a baccalaureate degree in data science or analytics or allied fields. If they have baccalaureate degree in allied fields, they must have successful completion of training program in data science for a total of 35 hours duration, and at least 1 year data science work, consulting, or research experience within the last 3 years. Or at least a master's degree in data science or allied fields, or at least a master's degree in any STEM program, plus the following: completion of training, 35 hours minimum, or at least 1 year experience in data science, or at least a master's degree in account ABM program with adequate exposure to data science through coursework or thesis projects, plus at least one of the following: completion of coursework requirement for a master's degree in any data science or allied programs, successful completion of training programs in data science, or at least 1 year data science work, or a baccalaureate degree with an international IT, any degree, but you have an international IT certification to teach professional courses specific, but you have an international IT certification. In that case, you may teach professional courses specific to that certification. Faculty members deemed to be qualified in an appropriate business program may also teach business domain courses in the data science program within their specialization. So the qualification of faculty actually is very flexible here. So at the it's developmental. We still don't have many faculty members that have data science degrees or much experience in data science. So we allow trainings in data science. The administrator must have a doctorate in data science or allied fields, a master's in data science or allied fields, plus at least 1 year of consultancy work within the last 3 years, 1 year of work in data science in the last 3 years, or at least a master's degree in STEM plus completion bachelor's or completion of all course requirements for a degree, or at least 4 years of work consultancy, research, or tertiary teaching, or a doctorate degree in STEM plus at least 3 years of experience in data science. Okay, so that's it. The other requirements or laboratory and library, they're quite standard for CHED, so we don't anymore. I didn't anymore include that in my presentation. So that's the end of this presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Jimmy Caro, for that lightning presentation of the Bachelor of Science and Data Science draft PSG for the BSDS. So with that said, we may now hear reactions or comments from the different members of the panel, starting off with the ladies. So can we ask Dr. Larmy or Dr. Thelma?
Dr. Larmy, would you like to go first?
You can go first, Prof.
Okay, po. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Jimmy, for the presentation. So indeed, data science is an essential part of any industry today, given now the massive amounts of data that are produced. As the demand for data scientists continues to grow, it is good to know that the HCI in the Philippines are trying to figure out how to best contribute to the training workforce of the data science. So combining the efforts of the academe and the industry to come up with this PSG is really a good strategy to close the gap between the academe and the industry in this field. I commend all the people behind this proposed PSG who bring out this for public consultation to get consensus on the fundamentals of the principles, the expertise, the skills or knowledge base needed in the academic discipline. Indeed, there is a balance of the industry practitioners and academe in setting out the prescribed projects for the data science. Then actual exposure of students in exploring vast amount of data is really a great help, in which you have emphasized that in the capstone project or the main requirements for the data students to be immersed in the industry and exploring the real data. However, having the goal of training individual to be an expert that can tackle all the challenges involved in the data science processes is too overwhelming and seems to be heavy. Okay? The cognitive load is quite too high, in my perspective only, in that learners may have some difficulties when learning each of the components fields that are presented in the curriculum. In the point of view of the academe, the scope is really a challenge too, since the science, data science is rooted from the different discipline or different knowledge domain. On the teacher's end, being one of faculty handling data analytics or data science subjects, we might have difficulty in narrowing down the vast amount of information or to squeeze everything into the introductory course of the data science. Because students who would be into this program should have a strong background of mathematics, statistics, and the data science. So their foundation must be really good enough and strong enough to move on for other major subjects. Since learners are diverse, they might come from different backgrounds as well. So probably the others don't have a strong background in math, or they have a weak foundations of the basics or methods in the statistics. So yeah, that the scope might be a problem for us. Though computer science, sabi nga, should focus on the methods, and Dr. Season also mentioned that computer science, which focuses on methods, and the physical science, which is data science driven, should be really combined for the data science program. So in our end, with the PSG proposed for CHED, we do hope that we should not have a problem when it comes to the technology and the resources that will be utilized. Hopefully, with this PSG, we will be able to have an access to good resources and technology, like exploring a massive data repository where we, the faculty, could really explore and really experience and play around with this data to come up with or derive with a good insight of this data. So on the part of the academe, even the faculty should be well equipped, as is stated. Though, as mentioned in the PSG also, the qualifications is parang developing pa naman. It's good thing, sir, you have pointed out that it's developing, because I thought based on what is placed here, it's really difficult to produce master's degree in data science or doctor degree in data science to administer this data program. But with the trainings that you have mentioned here, I think this could solve or resolve now the in terms of the qualifications of the program. So again, to all the people behind the PSG, thank you for coming up with this, and this will serve as our springboard to operate and produce now and meet the demand of our industry for the data science in the Philippines.
Thank you, Dr. Thelma. Well, just a little bit of summary of what Dr. Thelma has expressed. There were a bit of reservations in terms of the content that it would seem somehow overwhelming. I'm not sure if ever I got it correctly.
Yeah.
A second is she's concerned about the faculty members, whether they'll be able to capture both faculty members and students being able to get hold of whatever technology and resources with respect to the offering of the BSDS. Although that's the usual birth pains when a certain new program is being exposed and offered. And second, about trainings that we can actually um, deliver to our faculty members, since they're actually at the forefront in the delivery of this program. So, Dr. Jimmy, would you like to react on that, on those items that Dr. Thelma has expressed?
Yes, I quite agree that the sample curriculum is quite overwhelming. It's a sample curriculum. The minimum is the set of knowledge areas, both from the APEC and the ACM. So how the HEIs will put together a curriculum appropriate to their faculty and students and to the industry they cater to would be different story. Training is really crucial, so I hope we get also help from our industry partners, especially the Analytics Association of the Philippines. Later, Rex will also speak about that maybe. So I think Chad will also support any faculty development programs, any proposals that we will submit in the future. So maybe we can work together to craft a proposal for faculty development for this.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Jimmy. Quickly, when this was crafted in 2017, this actually we actually had a reference, which is actually the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation of Data Science and Analytics, DSA competency. So that's why, like, if you look at it, the heart and soul of this program are actually the skill sets that we're actually aligning. First would be the business and organization skills, wherein it captures those operational analytics, data visualization, data management, governance, and domain knowledge and application. Then in the part of technical skills, it has actually a good spread in terms of statistics, computing, data analytics, research methods, and even data science engineering principles. And to compound it all would be the workplace skills, which if you try to check out the program outcomes that is actually being factored in the different computing programs that we're currently delivering, and with respect to that PSG of 2015 that simply surrounds our computing delivery, there's that it's not a total replication, but rather it simply jives with those skill sets that we have actually expressed, even as some kind of connection to the outcomes. So with that said, in a way, we're actually connecting standards on what this content are, and as what Dr. Jimmy has expressed, as HEIs, it's up to us to be able to deliver it, because there's, even if you look at the foundation of the curriculum or the the desired curriculum, it's very minimal. So we have that chance to actually add on. And if you talk about the faculty skill set, there's that allied field declaration. So any of those faculty members having that particular EQ in the listed allied fields are capable or have that the capacity to teach. They have that. So it's just a matter of trying to fit in more context on on this aspect of data science. Okay, so with that said, from here, I would like to jump, if it's with due permission to Larmy and Doc Rafi, I'd like to jump to the industry side, okay, or the to the practitioners, okay. So I'd like to ask Dr. Rex for reactions to the presentation of Dr. Jimmy, which is the BSDS, the draft PSG for BSDS.
Thank you very much, Sir Greg. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Dr. Rex Hallow. I have I'm wearing two hats today. I represent the Analytics Association of the Philippines, as well as a co-faculty member, the Sir Jimmy here at UP Diliman. Basically, me and Sir Jimmy went way back. Sir Jimmy invited me to be part of this program since 2017. Unfortunately, I have other commitments, but definitely we're here. We are collaborating basically on this proposed program, and then I'm really happy to say that it's gone a long way. We had initial comments way back a few years back, as Sir Greg has mentioned, 2017. And while we were also interfacing with APEC, the APEC team drafted the competencies last 2017, and it's really overwhelming, as Sir Ma'am Thelma has mentioned, that yeah, those are the 10 minimum recommended competencies that must be present in a data scientist. So we are basically compelled to follow those rules. Of course, we have these frameworks that we can follow. And as I've seen the PSG document, they have successfully implemented these competencies across all the board. So you have business skills, technical skills, and statistics, and so on. And that is the correct way to go through it. All right. And there are some further minute details that we can discuss, because I think this forum is more of a high level view, but definitely the AAP has provided Sir Jimmy with the list of letters for consideration of the requirements for this proposal. So basically, what we are requesting is, of course, the definitions of some courses. For example, there are some courses here that's recommended by the statistics domain. For example, exploratory data analysis, which includes visualization, processing of data, and you also have visualization from the IT data science competency. So what we see as from the industry, basically, so we see that these are similar in nature. There might be percent similarities. Let's say 20-30% of the courses are shared between those things, and maybe we can rationalize them and see that we can talk more about more the theory about visualization, as compared to having it uh, retouched again on a different topic that's kind of bit still as visualization, but it's just marketed as a different course, right? Another intersection, what we see is also introduction to data science and business intelligence. All right, those is two courses are for us similar in nature, but then again, um, we can still identify the nitty-gritty details of what should be taught on each course. That if you want to introduce data science, this should be the things. If you want to introduce data intelligence as part of the competencies requirement of the the AP and the APEC recommended competencies, that's fine. Okay, we can also help you with that. right? And of course, with the context of the breadth, we are very happy of the lot of algorithms that we've been talking about. We talked about statistics, we talk about machine learning and data mining. Although data mining is more broad field, but of course it's already well, it's kind of a bit dated, but the machine learning part is more modern, right? And it really talks about algorithms and complexity, which is it's a prerequisite of all of these data sets, which is for us um, a big yes, because we have these trainings, not AAP, but we look at these trainings. Our partners at AAP have trainings. We go into trainings to say, okay, we teach machine learning, we teach big data, but they don't have the foundation courses. The PSG really has foundation courses like calculus, analysis of algorithms, and statistics. Right, those are the minimum requirements that solidify the foundation of this PSG requirement, and that's one of the good strategies as well as ethics. Okay, not a lot of programs really teach ethics, and if you really deal with data, ethics is a no-brainer. That has to be included as a part of the recommendations. Okay, so and lastly is the applications. Sir Jimmy has mentioned a domain elective. So we take note that data science is simply a tool that is a way to solve business problems or make better decisions. It has to be applied on a domain. All right. So the domain here, it could be healthcare, it could be telco, it could be um, data science could be used to solve the pandemic. All right. There should be a domain application. Right. We just cannot simply be focused on the tools. It has to be applied somewhere else. All right. So I agree with the electives here that they have listed down, but a lot of the electives are still technical in nature, but we have to identify domain. All right. So let's say data science is applied to healthcare. I mean, a lot of people are going into healthcare. A lot of people are doing telco data. What's available here in the Philippines, basically, right? And that in itself would really improve the proposed PSG towards the end. Okay, although there's capstone projects and actually big data and data warehousing are also included, but of course there are some definition of terms that we need to clean up, and of course the course descriptions that needs to be checked, because obviously there are intersections nga. Like data management has data visualization again, while visualization also has data visualization. So we just like to have that cleaned up such that we would know the delineation of these courses, such that the PSG for data science analytics would be a more better program. Okay, so with that, I think that is the main comments from us, from the Analytics Association Philippines, from industry. Thank you very much for having us, Sir Greg and Sir Jimmy. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rex. Thank you for that. So quickly, Dr. Rex has expressed that, um, well, the draft PSG is actually generally okay, but there's a need to review, especially in courses wherein there's a bit, or there are overlaps or intersections, and then this can actually be further improved, and this can even lead up to freeing certain courses that we may introduce others as well, just to be able to connect with the different domain areas in compliance with that was dictated from APEC. Also, it's also expressed that in terms of the fundamental courses, the foundations, in a way, it actually reinforces the delivery of this PSG program. And lastly, he commented that in the electives, while there are actually electives expressed, however, there's a need to focus on domain applications or domain specific executions other than usual tech or tools. Okay. Okay. So with that said, Dr. Jimmy, any reaction from Dr. Rex?
Oh yes. Yeah. Thank you, Rex, for the comments from you and from the Analytics Association of the Philippines, and thank you for being part of the development of this course. Uh, yes. I agree with your comments on the domain electives, adding more domain electives, and also uh, uh, the different courses, how to rationalize so that there will be not too much overlap. Uh, yeah, yes, it's a challenge also for us because uh, the different technical panels want to include something, and then we want to uh, balance that with what should be in the final program. So yeah, but
Okay.
I agree. In fact, one of your suggestions to rename the information visualization, data visualization has already been incorporated in this presentation.
Thank
Okay.
you, po, Sir Jimmy. Thank you, Sir Greg. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rex. Now let's go back to the academe. Now, so well, just to be clear, at least nothing, nobody would feel bad. So we're switching from female to male and male to female. So at least we are gender conscious. Okay. So Dr. Larmy, it's now your turn.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
Uh, we all know that there is really a growing demand for graduates with data science and analytics background. And of course, offering another program is very much welcome. Data science and analytics is interdisciplinary in nature and quite challenging. So I just want to clarify some things and ask some questions now. First, since our intakes will be K-12 graduates, what track would you prefer to take this program? Uh, there is an introduction to data science course mentioned there. And is there an advanced data science course? And why is it that the application development and emerging technology course not included as a core course? And the security aspect is quite broad to be merged with the data privacy course. And machine learning and data mining was also merged. Maybe you might want to separate them. And we all know that data science projects are produced by teams. Why is it that project management is an elective? And lastly, maybe some of the mathematical courses might be renamed to simply be like mathematics for data science 1, 2, instead of going to the specific mathematics. Now, my concern is really like when you say calculus 1, calculus 2, should it be handled by mathematics teacher, or do you want a specific offering of calculus that is geared towards data science? So I am honored and thankful that I know that my comments and questions are heard by the panel, and thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Larmy. Doc Jimmy. Unfortunately, I went for a quick bathroom break. The last thing that I've heard about Larmy's question is that for those courses like calculus, like who would be the ones teaching them? Are we going to ask somebody whose expertise are simply aligned to data science, or are we going to have faculty who are actually into the general aspects of mathematics? Okay.
Oo. For calculus, first yung question, the intake, preferably STEM, but just like now in practice, we accept graduates of any. We also prefer STEM graduates for engineering, for computing, but in practice, we do accept graduates of other tracks because for practical reasons, enrollment, and then there are also students who may have been misadvised in high school, and then there are schools that don't offer STEM. So and there may be good students in those programs. they can catch up. So in case their major is not STEM, then schools can, just like right now, can offer bridge programs. So calculus 1 and 2, in our initial draft, we only put one calculus course, but the TPSM, Science and Math group, insisted that there should be two courses in calculus, and I also agree. So, who should teach them? Mathematics majors, preferably. They need not be taught by data science practitioners. Calculus is a tool course. You need not start with applied calculus here. So the applications will come in later in the data science uh, courses. Machine learning and data mining, yes, the initial proposal was also to have two courses, but we had to merge them to give in to more statistics courses and other courses. Also, the AP, the apply, the systems development, no, software development, applications development, which is the fifth course in computing. Of course, you can require it if you offer the BS data science. We had to choose what to remove, and that was one of the courses that had to go, but it can very well also stay, and you can find some other ways of incorporating that. We didn't want to sacrifice any of the electives. 12 units of electives is just sufficient to have domain knowledge. And yeah, maybe we should also have the domain knowledge. Maybe we should specify that the electives preferably is some kind of cognate, like they should belong to one discipline, and so there will be some depth in some domain, and so that students can apply their knowledge in the specific domain. What else? Did I miss anything else? Anyone
Okay.
else can comment? Huh?
Yeah. Okay. We'll just have to finish the reactor so that afterwards we're going to shift our attention to the questions. Actually, there's already a number of questions that are already being thrown out, but let's first give time to the panelists. Okay. Thank you, Doc Larmy. Hopefully, Doc Jimmy was able to address your question. If not, you can actually ask again later. So we'll not allow Doc Jimmy to get out of this consultative forum if he's
Well,
not able
anyone
to
else can
qualify.
answer as well, no?
Yeah, okay. There are actually a number of those who are actually expressing also their comments. Okay, but with that said, can we ask? Okay, the last but not the least, our one of our panelists, Dr. Rafi Cabredo, is actually the lead for our special interest group for AI. No? But he doesn't have an AI, but because we say AI, he might actually be considered as an artificially intelligent individual. Okay, meaning
All
artificial
natural here.
intelligence. Yeah. Okay, Doc Rafi,
Right.
take it away.
With Doc Greg, and thank you, Doc Jimmy, for the presentation. This is a welcome development for data science, definitely. I think I saw a version of this 2 years ago at UP Diliman when we had a meeting together with Rex and the others to get more feedback on this particular proposal. And we are quite happy that we're at this point already, and we are ready or almost there to present this to CHED as a PSG. The name BS Data Science and Analytics is appropriate mainly because the program shows a good breadth of analytics. So we go through the different stages or the different job roles, the different processes, as Dr. Thelma mentioned earlier, of taking care of the data, how to get the data in terms of data engineering, how to come up with models, and then how to analyze the data that we can that we get from these models. And so it's appropriate that we have a breadth of analytics. And then this particular program has a depth in data science. So concentration more on mathematics and statistics, leading up to creation of models that would describe the data that we have acquired. So I believe it's really appropriate and it is well drafted. However, I would like to point out that a lot of schools have already come up with a certain flavor of data science. And companies, maybe 5 years or 10 years ago, companies would just encapsulate everything to the term as data science to mean everything from storing data, taking care of the data, all the way to analyzing, to management. So, but now that we see this curriculum, we're saying that data science is more really focused on data modeling. Should we then also consider having maybe another concentration or a specialization or a major for data engineering, which is, I think, something that is also missing in the industry right now. We might be coming up with a lot of graduates that know how to model data, but very few to actually get the data from any kind of data source and then prepare it for our data modelers or data scientists. Having said that, would it then be appropriate to have something like a mother degree program? I don't know what to call it, maybe a BS in analytics or data analytics with two majors, for example, a major on data science and then another one major in data engineering, something like that. Having this kind of setup would allow more people to come in. I think one of the problems earlier was it might be too mathematics intensive. So it could deter applicants who would just like to look at, let's say, the modeling, about the management of data, rather than coming up with the actual models and are afraid to go into the mathematics and statistics. I don't know why. They should love math and stat, right? But these are some of my possible suggestions. I would like to ask your opinion on this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rafi. Dr. Rafi expressed that this draft PSG in a way provides a good breathe in terms of in that aspects of analytics, and also has a good balance in terms of depth with respect to data science. And he has also mentioned that what if, or can we look at the possibility, like if we can have that aspect of data engineering, considering that there's so much that aspect about data modeling that's actually expressed in this program, and as well as would there be a possibility if there can be some kind of an umbrella or something like a mother home. The mother, the motherhood statement seems to be very famous today. I mean, lately. Anyway, so yeah, some kind of an umbrella or something like a container of all these related programs. Hopefully, I have expressed that well. Okay. Okay. So with these were the things that were expressed by Doc Rafi, Doc Jimmy. So any comment on this, Doc Jimmy?
Thank you for the comment about having good balance in stat and data science. HEIs would be free to offer any concentration within the proposed BSDSA, and a concentration in data engineering sounds good and should be doable. And you can also offer multiple majors, or specialization tracks. That's also possible and allowed within the proposal. It's really up to the HEI, except what may be prescriptive here is in CHED is that the name of the program stays the same. Okay, the main name of the program. Usually, if we agree on BSDS or BSDSA, that will be the name of all the programs. Unless you are autonomous and you can offer something different, then that's the only exception. So, yes, I think data engineering concentration would be good also. But also there's proposed, no, not proposed, but already approved CHED CMO on the Associate in Computer Technology. And by the way, there's a data engineering track in the Associate in Computer Technology. It's a 2-year program under CHED, and it can be taken as a preparation for work, but also as a ladderized program towards the bachelor's degree. So there's is the associate in computer technology, major in data engineering, or specialization track in data engineering, which we uh, propose to CHED in collaboration with the Analytics Association of the Philippines. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Doc Jimmy. So in a way, if you like, well, there's that general discussion whether the difference between data engineering and data science or data scientists is that, as expressed by Doc Raffi, while in data science, you actually look at how you actually process, perform um, executions or statistics in the collected data. While if you look at data engineering, this is simply the data generation aspect that actually can be looked at. Probably the data engineering, as what Dr. Jimmy has also expressed, could be something that could be architecturally, academically be addressed with the offering of the ACT program with that particular specialization. Although I don't want to dwell on that because I'm sensing that there will be some kind of a or public orientation with respect to the ACT coming, hopefully within the year or probably early next year, or
It's being
have we
planned in
scheduled?
November.
Okay,
November
so
this year, it's being planned.
November.
The public orientation on zonal public orientation on
The
the
ACT
Associated
program.
Computer Technology program.
Okay, that's correct. So it's something that we should also look forward to, as simply it's actually a defining moment also, especially as we dwell on this ACT program. Okay. So with that, we now open questions to the audience, and we have here a couple of questions. Um, so I'll start. Let me check it out. Okay, from Maria Rodelin Tibon. By the way, thank you, Dr. Randy, for helping me out or guiding me out with the questions from the audience. So please keep it up. Please maintain your function as the question manager. Okay. So first question. Hi, sir. Is computer engineering not an allied course po? Thank you. Okay. Would you like to answer that one, Doc Jimmy, and anybody else?
Yes, I think we can add it. I think we should add it. So I'll.
Okay. We have a raise hand from Dr. Rex. Dr. Rex.
Thank you, Sir Greg. Sir Jimmy, maybe you also add AI as a um, allied field, because we might be coming up with programs in AI, like a master's or PhD, and
Okay.
that would be also be allowed for administrators of these programs in their HEIs. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, if I am to answer that question, I would like to go back on the problem space computing. No, remember, in the in the computing curricula, we always look at in declaring a program, whether it's allied or not, in terms of the amount of intersection of both topics and application with respect to this program. So probably I don't have a direct answer to that, but my reference would always be, let's go back to the problem space of computing. Let's check out if there are more intersections. Then by that, we can declare whether a certain program is allied or not. Because if not, if we just simply base it on what we call as the nomenclature, or probably some level of application, so meaning there's no something like there's no definite order to it, we might actually end up trying to put everything as an ally to every program. So that is just my thought about it. Okay. Then we have a question from okay, from I think he was our speaker yesterday, from Dr. Vic Romero from, I think he's from UP Los Baños, correct, Dr. Jimmy? Was our speaker yesterday? Or no?
No, that's Madrid. That's
Oh,
Professor
sorry.
Madrid.
Okay. Okay. So this is another Victor. There's a lot of guys with name Victor, and they're actually good-looking guys. Okay. I'm Greg Victor. Anyway,
Ah.
uh, anyway, we have the question here from Victor. He says, like, have we looked into the intake capacity of companies or other institutions to accept potential data science interns? Okay. So I think that even he has a follow-up question. I think that even for IT and BSCS, this remains to be a prevailing concern. Do you have information from a national standpoint where our students are interning? Okay. I would be opening this floor because to the rest, like Cherry can also answer this one. Randy, Dave, you are actually at the spotlight. Okay. For this
I,
question because this affects you. Okay, Cherry. Okay,
yeah,
we're open.
I will not answer that question, but I also have some maybe recommendations or concerns or whatever. No? So personally, no, I'm a little bit scared about making a lot of programs without really explaining it to the parents and so on. Because it used to be that, Chet came out with this business analytics track for the business program and then the business analytics track for the IT program. I'm not so sure now if a lot of schools implemented that. Personally, that time I was a bit I do not really like the term business analytics because I felt that we are basically, instead of just data analytics, it was business analytics, and because of that I think that maybe the people did not receive it that very well enough. But anyway, for this one, my request basically is this, because we already have existing IT business, computer science programs and information systems. And if we want to basically attack and produce graduates right away in order to address the AI analytics roadmap, would it be possible for the technical committees to come up with a set of tracks, for example, they can basically put as professional electives for computer science so that maybe they can be data scientists. And at the same thing for IT, for example, what are those tracks? Or IS, for example, so that they can become data engineers. So I think it would be easy that way because then our BSIT graduates, they can go into, they can still go into that industry without really having, without really having to take, just in case we cannot really promote this. And even BSIS, it's very difficult to promote, no? Because we have to explain it to the parents and to the students what it is and not. So I don't know how we can explain this to the senior high school students. And if our intention is to really produce graduates the soonest possible time, then I would like to request for a set of electives that we can insert for computer science and for IT and IS.
Thank you, Cherry, for that.
Sorry, no, it's not really related, but I think we can, get things from here, from this set of guidelines, so that you're not really an expert in the entire thing, but because a lot of our graduates really end up as data analysts anyway, even though this program was not yet available back then.
Okay, thank you, Cherry, for that anticlimactic comment.
Sorry, because I like
Yeah,
this
I know.
program. My worry is how do you actually explain this to the students and the parents, right?
Okay. We're actually veering away from the question of Victor. Would anybody would want to answer that?
Oh, sige, I will say something about this.
Okay, sige, Cherry.
In the technical committee for computer science, we actually had a focus group discussion. I think Sir Rafi was there, with industry, and that was the question that we were actually asking them, because if we produce, for example, like AI, for example, the universities have been producing computer science with skills in AI, but then when they go to the company, they don't really apply their AI skills now, because that time the industries were not ready. But right now they are saying, based on this, that the industries are ready. So that's a very important question. And that's basically what we are also asking our industry representatives back then. And so actually, one of our industry representatives said that we really have to convince the industry about the power of, analyzing data, the power of data science, the power of data mining. So I think promotion should be done on the industry side, because then otherwise we might be producing all of these graduates and the industries are not yet ready to get them.
Okay.
And that's my worry too. No? That's why I want to stick sometimes in computer science, and so that they can be a software developer after.
Okay. Thank you, Cherry. How about the others? From
I
the
think Larmy
IT.
wants to say something. I think Larmy wants to
Larmy.
say.
I saw Larmy raising her virtual hand. Larmy.
I just want to reiterate my previous question
Mhm.
in terms of why project management is not part of a required course. And I just want to add, uh, we have business intelligence as part of the course. And since your answer is on the STEM, we want to encourage students who finish the STEM program. So maybe we might, it should be considered putting in a business organization course instead of going directly to a business intelligence, because how can you then have business intelligence now if you don't have any business background?
Okay. That's noted, Larmy. Any reaction to that?
Well,
Although, yeah.
if I will craft my own curriculum, it may well include 12 units of business. That includes 12 units of electives in business. That may include that organizational management and project management. Should they be required? Maybe they can be required, but you have to give up on some of the courses. Which ones have to go? So that's a difficult decision. You have to combine some of the courses to incorporate additional courses. Yeah, Rex said we can the business intelligence and the intro to data science can be combined. I think that's how I got it. So that will free one room for one more course, maybe. The technical panel also said why not require all the 15 units of core computing, which you also said we should, but yeah, that's so. But remember, this is not just technical pipe proposal. This is also a proposal from we're trying to get endorsement also from the technical panel on science and mathematics, the technical panel for business, and the technical panel for engineering. So you cannot really put too many computing courses and less of the statistics and mathematics in the sample curriculum. But when you eventually offer your course, you can design your curriculum any way you want as long as you comply with the minimum requirements.
Thank you, Dr. Jimmy. Again, if you try to compare the way we formate or design the curriculum, we actually have made it a way to be very minimalistic. So imagine this is actually 146. So that would mean you still have about 12 to I don't know, probably about 12 to 15 other courses. So that's about 36 to 45 units that you can actually add on just to be able to complement whatever direction that you are actually planning for you to deliver within your university. Okay. So meaning to say with 146, you're still somewhere about 15 to 18 units per semester of load for your students. And that's actually quite light for me at my level. Okay. And to add on certain courses that will simply complement to how you would actually expect your graduates to be, then that would be something that would be functional. Okay. Unfortunately for Victor, we haven't veered away to, we haven't really answered this question, and I'm guilty about it. But let's put it this way, Victor. When a certain program is actually being designed to be offered, one of the key things that we always look at is this a program that is that industry is actually checking out or probably might need in the very near future. Do take note coming up with a new program, something that is totally new, takes years. Like, for example, this was conceptualized in 2016. Then we started checking it out in 2017. And right now we're already 2021. So that's actually 3 or 4 years after. And even up to this moment, it still is not yet being marked with a certain CMO for PSG. So so if you look at it, uh, and also on the industry side, there are already people from the industry side who are already expressing like, hey, how come you're not, we don't have yet the BSDS. And as a result, there are other universities, which I think they're taking advantage of them being autonomous, coming up also with their own flavor of BSDS, or probably a bit of a variety of with respect to BSDS, and probably even going for veering to something different. So in coming up with something like this, it's always something like it's both as a calculated risk. While doing this for the program, we're actually touching base also with the industry. That's why in the crafting of such new programs, there would always be people from the industry who's actually part of the team, so that in a way, there's that certain level of advocacy, although it might be informal at the very beginning, to simply express it and share it outside that, hey, there's something brewing right now. And in the academe, there's a new program together with us in the industry that we're planning to roll out. And in that way, there would be some level of expectations and connivance already happening in terms of what specific job skill sets would somehow attune or connect to these programs that are actually being worked out. So it's not that we're actually looking at something like it would just naturally get out in the open and companies would actually take in. So it's actually a collaboration of both, in order to be able to in order to be able to give that guarantee that, hey, with this program, there would be people that would have, that we can deploy for positions or job requirements that are actually available in the industry. Though this is not something that is really a solid kind of solution, but that's actually the usual process that we're actually look at. Think of this way: coming up with new programs would always be some kind of a risk execution as well. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. In the same manner, like we have, there are some uh, regions right now wherein they're offering IT, BSCS, but unfortunately, there are limits. There are minimal positions for OJT or apprenticeship. But nevertheless, but if you try to check it out right now, at this time the pandemic, you can see companies right now accepting interns, apprentice who will do work from home. And because of that, it has actually defied boundaries or regions. And that is very much evident right now in our field, because we can do we can deliver these things, we can create IPs even by just simply having as long as we have that internet connectivity. And again, I tell you right now, companies are actually opening its doors to interns who can do work from home, and that simply defies regionality. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so we have some other questions like um, from Ferdy of Mapua. I'm not sure if he's from Mapua, but he's saying that Mapua is already offering BS Data Science, and some universities are offering major in data science as part of BS Statistics or BS Mathematics. Are there overlaps? What is your advice or comment? Okay, and even UAP, offering BS in data science. Okay.
For the other programs offering majors or specialization in data science, that's very welcome.
Mm.
Uh, the we need to produce more data science specialists, and they need not be graduates of BS Data Science. In fact, the current entry for data science careers is usually a master's or a doctorate in mathematics, engineering, statistics, uh, computer science. So we want to develop more data science specialists. We know there are lots of jobs available to answer that other the question of Victor, there are lots of jobs available worldwide. Are there enough jobs in the Philippines? I think there are enough, but we can have more. It's a chicken and egg problem. We have to produce more specialists to attract more data science jobs in the country. We are an outsourced destination, and there's a lot of outsourcing in data science knowledge management going on. I mean, most of that going to India or other destinations, and we're just getting a very small portion of that pie in the Philippines. So if we can produce more data science specialists, then we can attract more jobs and create more data science jobs eventually.
Okay.
So the ones already offering bachelor's degree in data science, eventually if this becomes a CMO, they will be asked by CHED to comply with the CMO. I suppose they might already be compliant because our proposal is quite flexible and quite open with respect to specific. We are not very prescriptive with respect to courses that should be offered. We're prescriptive with respect to knowledge areas and competencies.
Okay.
And
Thank you. Yes, sorry for interrupting you, Doc Jamie. You're okay?
okay, yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so the comment and question of Ferdy is similar to the comment also of Edgar, and it simply connects also to what Cherry said. Like we can actually deliver initially data science as a specialization track or an add-on to the present computing courses that we have. Okay, and then on the question like a compliance to the BSDS once this one gets out as a PSG. Um, although I could not answer it directly, but my mantra would always be something like this. As long as a certain program connects with industry, and then they're producing human resources that would simply fill in the requirements of the industry, that would, for me, that would be a perfect a measure whether a program offered at the BS degree is functional or not. Okay, so that's how I always look at it. Okay. Okay. So hopefully I've answered the question also of Edgar. So he also says like is in his other question he said like also AIM has a very good program in data science. They have graduated I think about 4 batches already. Okay. And also they have a master's degree that can be offered as a straight degree program. Okay, but then again, if you look at it, it's actually a very minimalist. If you look at the curriculum for the BSDS, it's only about 146. We can simply add on to it to whatever we are actually creating some kind of a flavor that would allow us to connect well with industry. Okay. So other questions from the audience? I'm checking out the chat box. We have here our scholarships available for PhD in data science. Uh, a PhD in data science. Actually, if you Google it, there could be, but I'm not sure whether who's the one funding for it. Okay. Okay. But as of the moment in the Philippines, they're not. But if you look at the what's that? I actually do not prepare for it, but from that, what's the meaning of DAP, Doc Jimmy again? The Academy of the Philippines or something like that. They have actually
Academy of the Philippines.
okay. They have something a program specific to relating to data analytics, but not really on the context of data science. But they're actually opening it. They have scholarship slots for that. Okay, and then it's being delivered online. Data analytics, no, DAP, no, Professional Academy of the Philippines or something like that. Project Sparta. Thank you, Marby. Okay. Okay. It was very timely during the start of the pandemic. They've actually rolled it out. Okay. But their program is very much more on the applied side and something like a concluding or a finishing program, or for those professionals who can quickly go through this program. Okay.
Yes, it's on course bank.
Course bank. Yeah, okay. That's correct. Course bank. Yeah.
Taking link for those who are interested in taking uh, courses in from
Yeah,
Smart.
it's
Huh?
coursebank.ph.
Coursebank.ph.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jimmy. Anything more? Any questions? Okay. So Doc Jimmy has actually shared.
You
Yes.
take the course in course bank, will that qualify you to teach the the BS Data Science? I think if you are certified, yes. If you just took it without the certification, then the answer is no. But if you are certified, yeah, the answer should be yes.
Okay.
Sir
Okay.
Greg,
Yes.
last question, if I
Yeah.
may.
Yes, Dr. Rex.
Well, actually, more of a recommendation. Sir, for your program goals, because if we are to come up with a new curriculum, the program outcomes, program goals are really the ones that define the program. Based on the latest draft, you say that BSDS graduates are equipped with knowledge and skills for processing, management, and analysis of data in various forms. So maybe we can bring it up one level, like for example, development of systems for management analysis and for organizational decision making, for example. Maybe it'll give more gravitas to the proposal, because rather than just simply processing and analysis of data, okay, you included a lot of machine learning tools, AI, visualization. So those basically are tools for better management decision making, or organizational management decision making, not just for business but for NGOs, government, any domain is welcome. So hence, I would recommend that to level up the program goals, such that not just to process data but to come up with better decisions. Okay, for organizations. Thank you po. Yun lang.
Thank you, Dr. Rex. I would agree with that because it would not do justice to the courses that are actually that a student would go through in BSDS. So thank you. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Randy, we're able to capture all the comments. Okay, being our secretariat for ICE 2021. Hopefully you captured it. Okay. Okay. So just a little bit of announcement. Dr. Jimmy has already shared the PSG for the BSDS, and if ever you have some more comments, please fire us an email. I'll share Dr. Jimmy's uh, email. Okay. Did you share your email, Dr. Jimmy? Okay. Or probably
Yes.
just
Okay. For
okay.
additional comments, please
Yeah.
send me. So, and we'll try to address other comments that you may have and suggestions on how to improve this. That's very welcome. There are additional questions that came up.
Yeah. Okay. From Marbert.
Science licensure exam. I don't think we are ready for that. Certification is definitely good. It's not, if you say licensure, you prohibit people from entering the career, the profession without a licensure. We don't want to do that. But we certainly would want to have more certifications, more internationally recognized certifications. That's good.
Yeah, I agree with that. In fact, certification can be more specific to certain areas or components of a certain a bigger program. So that would mean we could it would allow us to move so much faster. Like certain certifications would be present today, and we can actually improve this particular certification requirement in terms of a new content. So that would allow us to keep up with the content vis-a-vis the ones that are actually required from the industry. So I would agree with Dr. Jimmy. Okay, and we have here a comment from Marvin. Can we include an intro to distributed cloud computing as part of the electives? Sure. Remember, it's only 146 units. and you can actually tailor fit, just like what I've said. You can actually tailor fit. You can even come up with a specialization track for you to be able to direct your graduates, like something like on top of a BSDS and with a certain focus for what, no? Like for example, you could even talk about, you can even be more um, but don't get it from me. Like you can even be more product specific or vendor specific. Like you might talk about, like, because if you talk about Amazon or AWS or Microsoft Azure, they have their own sets of um, cloud solutions for that, and with the flavor of data science. So you can actually, in fact, if you go to Microsoft Learn today, and if you check out their certifications, there are somewhat connected to data science track over implementing over in Azure. Okay. So you might actually check that one out, but you're not getting it from me. I'm just giving you some kind of an idea that you can actually play around with your degree, your programs that you're delivering in the university, add courses that could become as some kind of a specialization direction or track for such students. And I'm not even limiting it to BSDS. You can play it around on top of BSIT, BSCS, or BSIS. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Perhaps we can also consider adding free electives to include non-IT related course such business course. Yes, you can. You can. But my suggestion always there, Beth, is that probably you can actually package it that you are actually targeting a certain, let's say, like for example, a certain company, or let's say like a certain how do you call this, problem area where you're actually fitting this specialization tracks, a track which is a combination of something that is tech and non-tech, so at least you're able to connect something with a certain outcome. uh, okay. Uh, well, the members of the panel can actually help me out answer these questions. I'm just trying to make sure that we're able to satisfy the questions being thrown out. Okay, so uh, some industry have a certificate. Is this considered with DS? Very much. Yeah. Okay. Uh, then I'd like to ask if we can include. Okay. So I think we've been able to answer the questions that are actually being fired up here. So actually, so with that, we're done. Yeah. So with that said, thank you very much for your time. And we would actually be taking note, although there were a number of comments also that unfortunately in my end wasn't able to capture it. But nevertheless, we will actually, this would always be a work in progress. Even other programs that already has mark CMOs slash PSGs, it will always be a work in progress. The most important thing is that we don't stagnate ourselves to what we have today. Remember, there's always that particular debate, like how can academe be able to catch up with the needs of the industry? Actually, we can never catch up at any moment or at any time. Yes, we can, but remember, the requirements of industry is very dynamic, very fluid. And that's actually a very good sign, because if the requirement stops, then there must be something wrong. Okay, so with that said, thank you very much to all uh, members of the panel discussion of this consultative forum, to Dr. Jimmy, who've actually really rallied around in making sure that we are able to come up with this particular program. For so many times, we've been meeting a lot of people over the years, especially even before the pandemic. We actually met some groups from, especially from the math and statistics group, and even I think in the medical field, who also joined us in what's that hotel near UP Diliman. So we were there. Okay, and I also remember Dr. JP Vergara was around to help us out, especially trying to express that this is something that's pretty much consistent with APIC of 2017 and so on. So, and also to the panelists who are with us around. So from Doc Rex of AAP, um, Doc Rafi Cabredo, Doc Larmy, Doc Thelma, Thank you very much. And for those who actually share their thoughts also, Doc Cherry and others, okay, and those who fired up questions. So it means to say that there's so much interest in this particular area. And I think this would be something that would really shape up of what is actually shaping or transcribe, well, moving around in the industry. So with that said, thank you very much, and I'm going to be closing already this forum, and I would be turning over now this one back to our MC for day two, Dr. Dave Marshall. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you soon, physically, very soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And we're not yet ending, huh? While they are saying bye and goodbye for that episode only, not necessarily for the entire conference, because there are
Excuse me, Dr.
still,
Dave. Sorry.
yes,
Edgar is Edgar Sepe, Gary Sepe, right? No, not Gary.
I think no.
Yes, that's Gary. That's
Ah,
Gary.
Ah,
okay.
okay.
Ah, okay. When I saw it, like miss working with the IT group. Musta Gary? Yeah, we miss you also. Okay. Uh, thank you. Thank
Hi,
you. Sorry
hi,
for
Sir
that
Gary.
for
Yes,
that
no problem.
interruption.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
So we are actually ahead of time per schedule, per program. The next part of the program is updates from pickup or updates from the accrediting computing and information technology education programs, in particular from pickup. I am not sure if our next speaker is ready, considering that his time to deliver the talk is at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, let's check. Let me check the list of attendees. If Mar Ayan is around already.
So
Where's
while Greg is checking the
he's
our
not
next
around.
speaker,
Okay, all
just
right.
want to remind everyone that we still have the third day of our conference, which is tomorrow. The Women's in Computing, the special interest group also of CSP. We have Ma'am Cherry Santarumana here who will be running also the show tomorrow. Ma'am Cherry, you would like to invite them for tomorrow?
Yes, hello. Good afternoon. So tomorrow, because this is a back-to-back conference with the Women in Computing group. So there's this Women in Computing group headed by Dr. Rachel Rojas. So CIT is hosting the Women in Computing group celebration. So it's a whole day event. It's a little bit lighter. So we will have women speakers and we will also have paper presentations. But not as technical as the first 2 days. So we would like to invite you. I will share the Zoom link to the conference in the chat box. So it's a free conference. Even if you are not a CSP member, you can join. And at the same time, we will provide a certificate of participation, but you have to attend, of course, and you have to accomplish the evaluation at the end of the day. So I'll put it again. I put it this morning in the chat box. I'll share it again. So see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Ma'am Cherry. And I think we have to emphasize that men are welcome, right? Ma'am Cherry?
Yes, yeah, Cherry.
Yes, definitely. It's a women in computing celebration, and but men are welcome to attend, of course, no, so that you can be inspired, no, by the women in computing. The goal is basically to promote more women in computing because this is primarily dominated by men, and we know that women can do it also in the same level as the men, and so we want to promote women in computing. So,
Thank you,
but you
Ma'am
appreciate the
Che.
men, so that your children, especially if you have female children, please encourage them, to pursue careers in computing.
Thank you very much. So tomorrow the show will be the We Men Computing.
That's correct. That's correct. We
And
men.
I think we have to have a short screen break while preparing for The next speaker, Greg.
Okay. Yeah, that's correct. However, I would like to remind everyone, although we still have one more part of the program for day two, but I would also be sharing the link for a moment for the evaluation for day two, and at the same time, we would actually be providing you with certificates also after you have signified after you have participated in the evaluation as well. Your inputs are very welcome. There's at the last part of the evaluation, there's an open-ended question. If ever you like to express something like you like to have this one next time, or probably have more questions relating to the different items or parts of the program that we had today, yeah, it would be very much welcome if you can express those things at the last item of the evaluation. Okay, so for a moment, I'll capture it again, the evaluation. For a moment, I shared it a while ago. Okay, here. So you may even start filling it up now, but don't submit it yet because there's also an item for the last part of the program, which is actually the peak up time. Okay, but in advance, I'm just sharing you the evaluation. And also another thing, if you would actually evaluate, we would also be sending to you all the copies of the present all the present copies of all our speakers as well. Okay, sent to you, and uh, with those presentations. Okay, okay. So a moment, I'm getting some kind of an email reply, but this is what I've got. This meeting is for authorized registrants. Doc Jimmy, sila Gigi of Pickup is getting some kind of an error. Um, this meeting is also authorized already. They made use of PCS secretariat at hotmail.com. What should I do? It seems the UP Zoom account is very strict. Okay. Okay. Here, I'm actually posting it, the error message that they're getting. Um, I'll just tell them that just use another email. Can you use another email instead? Okay. Okay. Doc Dave, we can just have some kind of a break, but I'm already communicating with Gigi, and most likely he's arranging Mars presence in our conference. So probably this will just take about 5 minutes or less, but we can have a break if it's okay.
Okay, let's have a 5 minute screen break, and I think our organizer maybe can play a music also, a background music.
Okay. By the way, our conference partner this year is Southern Leyte State University. Okay, led by Dr. Francis Ray Padaw. Okay, Francis and Joviel, can we play something? It's a good thing that that you didn't have some issues with power. Just okay. You can still go on. I'm still coordinating with our next speaker. So his name Mar Ayan. I'm seeing a raise hand by Pantaleon. You have a question, sir, from Mr. Pantaleon? No question.
Warning, intention, excellence, and ambition. Driven by the cause, motivated by the thoughts. Seeking the fullness, soaring high for the greatness. To bring about the best, to conquer all the tests. We raise each other up, soar high up to the top. Together you and us and now. We are SLSU. Because of you, we are SLSU. Because of you.
Develop leaders and professionals into the world.
With innovation and research, we mold them all.
Growth and development is what we are and what we see as a high quality corporate university. Yeah. We're SLSU. We raise each other up, so high up to the top. Together you and us and now. We are SLSU. Because of you, we are SLSU. Because of you, we are SLSU. Because
Okay, just a moment. Let me just answer that. Let me check this one. Okay, Gigi. Gigi. So Mar. Okay, okay. Dave. Dave, our speaker is around already.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. And we are now on our last session of the second day of the fourth Information and Computing Education Virtual Conference. Our next speaker, as presented earlier, we'll talk about accreditation or accrediting computing and information technology education programs. And this will be presented by a representative from the PCS Information and Computing Accreditation Board. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker for this afternoon is a the MIS manager of Braun Medical Supplies Incorporated, and at the same time, he is the chair of the Computing Accreditation Commission, or the CAC, from 2019 to the present. He is the chair of the Criteria Committee from 2014 to 2018 and the Accreditation Team Chair. He is a registered program evaluator. Currently, he is the Board of Trustees and at the same time the Treasurer of the Philippine Computer Society. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Mar Ayan N. Novencido.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Let me just share my screen. Uh, there. Can you already see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So good afternoon, everybody. For today, for this session, I'll be talking about accrediting computing and information technology education programs. Now, this is under PCS, Information and Computing Accreditation Board, known as PICAM. So just to have a quick introduction, as I've already been introduced earlier. So I'm Mar Ian Novencido. You can call me Mar. I'm currently the MAS manager for Braun Medical Supplies Inc. It's a medical company providing medical supplies. No, I've been with the company for around 10 years already. And aside from the professional, I've been into PCS since 2014. No, and I'm one of the board of trustees for PCS and currently also the treasurer. And for PICAB, since 2019, I've been chairing the CAC or Computing Accreditation Commission. And before that, I was the chair for the Criteria Committee. And before that, when the pickup was just starting, I was an accredited team chair and also a registered program evaluator. No? So the outline of my presentation is just a quick one. So we'll just have an introduction of what PCS or PICAB is and what our accreditation is. And then discuss briefly on the criteria for accreditation of PICAB. And also I will discuss briefly on how your HEI will be um, on the procedure on how to be accredited. And then the last portion will be on the question and answer. So to start with, what is accreditation? So accreditation is simply as the act of granting credit or recognition to a program, to a person, or anything. No, and this accreditation has standards and protocols that this individual or maybe the HEIs or any um, body they have met. No, so some of the principles is for PICAB is that it's a non-governmental organization conducts the review. And then accreditation is, again, this is voluntary. So it's not mandatory for anybody. So if you're just interested on accreditation, then it's voluntary. And first is it requires a self-assessment by the program, and it's a continuous process. So meaning it's not just one time. So for a period of time, you'll be given an accreditation status, and then by the time that it will expire, then you need to renew your accreditation. And some other principles is that it's fair and impartial peer process. So these the program evaluators are professional practitioners, they are educators, they are professional IT background without IT background. And then as mentioned earlier, there's a standard accreditation criteria, policies and procedures in which the reviewers or the evaluators will be guided. No, and at the end of that evaluation or accreditation, there's only two status. So it's either accredited or not accredited. And the important thing as well is that accredited programs just comply to the standards and they are not ranked. Okay, so to give you a background on Philippine Computer Society, it's an established organization since 1967. It's formally named as the Data Processing Management Association of the Philippines. It was the premier organization of IT professionals and also the oldest organization in the country and second oldest in Asia. So, and then in 1978, PCS became the founding member of the Southeast Asia Regional Computer Confederation, SEARC, whose members include computer societies from Australia, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, New Zealand, Pakistan, Singapore, Thailand, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. So since then, PCS has been a long and honored history of growing ICT industry professionals, and it has a monthly and annual activities has been conducted ever since. And PCS is more on the professional development as well as industry updates. Okay, and then to give you also another background on what PCAB is, so Philippine PCS, Information and Computing Accreditation Board, PCAB, was formed way back in 2014. And PCS is the only qualified entity to represent the country for membership in the Seoul Accord, as it conforms to the strict Seoul Accord requirements of an organization with an individual IT practitioners as members. Now, PCAB has four organizations, member organizations. So, Computing Society of the Philippines, CSP as one, PCS, PSIA, Philippine Software Industry Association, and PSITE. For the organizational structure, so PCS as the head, and then under PCS is the PCAB, Board of Directors, and there's a line for the Advisory Council, and under the Board of Directors is the CAC, and under CAC are the Program Evaluators Registry. And beside the CAC, there is this operations team. Now, for the ratio of industry to academe, No, with regards to the members of the program evaluators, there are only 19% from industry and 81% from academe, which means that there are more academe program evaluators rather than the industry. And on the Computing Accreditation Commission, CAC, there's a 28% industry and 72% academe. So in the future, what we would like to to grow on is to make the industry part of the CHI to be bigger. Since what we envision is that for the HEIs, since the industry are the ones benefiting from all the graduates of the academe, so it would be beneficial only so that the industry will have more, how do you call this, more influence on how the graduates would be, the graduate attributes would be. For CAC and PRPE, there are 17 CAC members and 1 CAC chair. And currently, there are 59 members of the PICAB Registry of Program Evaluators. Now, SOLACORD. What is SOLACORD? No, if you can see with this source, SOLACORD is a multilateral agreement among agencies responsible for accreditation or recognition of tertiary level computing and IT-related qualifications. No, so SOLACORD is it's part of a standard of standard standard graduate attributes that identify characteristics of the graduates. No, with this SOLACORD, there are members globally, and the regular members is they have 9 regular members. ABIC, this is from Korea. ABET, this is from the US. Australian Computer Society, the name itself is from Australia. British Computer Society is from UK. Canadian Information Processing Society, CIPS, is from Canada. Consejo Nacional de Acreditación and Informatica y Computación, AC. So, in short, medyo mahirap i-bagdasin yung pangalan nila. CONAIC, this is from, I think, from Mexico. And Hong Kong Institution of Engineers, IEET from Taiwan, and JABI from Japan. So these are the 9 signatories of SOLACORD. Now, before you become a regular member, you will have to go through the process of being a provisional member. And PICAB is one of these organizations from Australia, from Sri Lanka, from Ireland, from New Zealand, from Indonesia, and from Malaysia. So we are currently, we will be applying for a regular membership soon. So we are hoping that in the next 2 years that we will be able to be a regular member. Okay, so nominations from SA observers from ABIC and JABI. So when we applied for the provisional members, so we had these recommendations from these organizations. And also we have an additional nomination from ABET from the US. And in 2015, June 20, 2015, we were given provisional membership. No? So this is our start of being a provisional membership. Okay, so PICAB is provisional membership is for ASEAN that has direct representation to SOLACORD. That was before when we joined the SOLACORD, but now we have already our neighboring countries like Malaysia and Indonesia. And then this allows Philippine HEIs with PICAB accredited programs confidently invite foreign nationals because of the standards that these graduates are. Once the program is accredited with SOLACORD, it is equivalent to the programs that has been accredited by the other SOLACORD organizations members. Now, For the list of pickup accredited programs, so the latest is in February 2019. It's the Asia Pacific College with their IT, Information Technology program. So it started in February 2019. And then there's also the Batangas State University in Alangilan campus for programs Computer Science and Information Technology from June of 2018. Lyceum of Batangas with Information Technology since June of 2018. Napo Institute of Technology Makati. They have 3 programs, Computer Science, Information Systems, and Information Technology from February 2016. Another is the two campuses of TIP, Manila and Quezon City from 2015, February 2015, and the University of Mindanao from March 2017. You can see this list of accredited programs via the PCAB website. So some of what value does an accreditation give us? So for students and parents, help students select quality programs and ease of employment mobility across the globe. Like what I've mentioned earlier, if the program is accredited via sole accord, then it is equivalent on the other programs that are also sole accord accredited programs around the globe, not just for the Philippines. For institutions, there's a leveraged degree of programs equivalent to the sole accord, which means that if your program is accredited, and then you would be included on the list of HEIs or institutions which have a program accredited by the sole accord. For faculty, for sure, some of you are in the academe. So institution is improving quality. As mentioned earlier, accreditation is continuous, so it does not stop. So there's improvement. And for industry, availability of CITE-related manpower. As also mentioned earlier, industry has to have a say on what graduate attributes the HEIs should be producing. Sorry, napaaga yung question and answer. Just to browse through the PCAB criteria for accreditation. So just a quick background. In December 11, 2012, the CHED issued a memorandum as part of the CMO. There should be a policy standard to enhance quality assurance in Philippine higher education through outcomes-based quality assurance. Just some definition of terms. Higher education and institution, these are a provider of tertiary level education to offer baccalaureate degree programs by the CHED. ITE program, this is baccalaureate degree program in higher education under the purview of the CHED, TP, Technical Panel for Information Technology Education. And in June 2015, these are the 3 programs that we will be able to accredit. So Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Bachelor of Science in Information Systems, and Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. I'm not very much sure yet on what is the status if Bachelor of Science in Library Science and Information Management would be included on the list of programs that can be accredited. So since there's a confusion between ITE, so we decided that we rename it as Computing and Information Technology Education, CITE program, instead of just ITE. So there are some major steps of implementing outcome-based. I'm sure you may have an idea already of this. So each HEIs will have program PEOs, student outcomes, curriculums, objectives and outcomes, and improve the quality of education. So PEOs are, excuse me, are broad statements that are described by the institution on what the program would like to achieve. And it's intentionally aligned with the mission of the HEI to respond to the needs of the program's constituents, particularly industry employers. For student outcomes, these are desired attributes of the students, to gain at the time of their graduation. And related to knowledge, to skills and behaviors as they acquire this baccalaureate program. And these skills, knowledge, and behaviors need to be verifiable by a measurable means. What are the relationships of SOs and PEOs? So attainment of student outcomes must foster the attainment of the PEOs. So it has to be aligned. No, so if you already have an idea on what the criteria of accreditation for PICAP, then you will have to align all the SOs against the PEOs. And also the curriculum, this is the set of courses designed to provide learning. This is designed to achieve the student outcomes. So, excuse me. So, as you can see, there are relationships from the curriculum going to the student outcomes, going to the PEOs. Now, to discuss again, to discuss the criteria on how we would be accrediting CIT programs. PICAP criteria for accreditation are substantially equivalent. That's the reason why we are a provisional member of the Seoul Accord, because of the criteria that we have been using is equivalent, substantially equivalent to the SA, Seoul Accord members. And our criteria are patterned after the criteria of ABET and ABIC and of the other signatories. And then first criteria is the HEI should have a government recognition from CHED. So this is the the most important criteria, since the HEI should be recognized by CHED. And then the next are general criteria. So there are 9 criteria under the general, and each criterion applies to every CIT program. So the 3 programs. And then for each program, there are specific criteria. Basically, to separate the criteria from the 3 programs. So from computer science, from IS, information systems, and information technology. And then PICAP policies and procedures. So during the accreditation, the ACI should also be compliant to PICAP policies and procedures. So as mentioned earlier, to be accredited for a program, to be accredited, all of the criteria should be satisfied. So this is as mentioned earlier, there should be government recognition from CHED. For the general criteria, first criteria or criterion are PEOs. Second are the student outcomes. Third is curriculum. Then we have criterion for students, for faculty, facilities, institutional support, and industry academic linkage. So I would not be discussing each and every one, but if you want to have an idea on what are the general criteria, you can visit the website for PICAP. There is this document that you can download and review. Okay, so that's the 9 general criteria. As for the program criteria, it depends on which criteria. For CS, for IS, and IT, there are different additional criteria on top of the general criteria. To discuss the accreditation procedure, so first is a request for evaluation, an RFE. Normally, this is the what we do is the deadline for an RFE is January 31st of the cycle calendar year in which the review is desired. So if you wish to be accredited starting next year, then the deadline for the RFE, request for evaluation, is January 31st, 2022. The RFE is a document that must be signed by the HEI's chief executive officer, either the president, the chancellor, rector, or equivalent, and must be submitted with one official transcript of records of a recent graduate for the program. No? So if there are several programs, then there should be at least one in each program. On-site visiting teams. So after you have submitted your RFE, the visiting team will be created, no, depending on which program that you have requested for. No, so an on-site visiting team normally has one team chair and one program evaluator for each program. If there is only one program, then there would be two program evaluators for that specific program. Okay, so before this was on-site visiting, but currently we have also opened our virtual visits to the HEIs, not to just enable our accreditation. Normally, this is done from March to June. So the team will be identified from March to June. Prior to the final appointment of the team, the HEI will still have the final say on, or the HEI will have a review on the team. No? So there's there's a possibility. It depends on the conflict of interest and everything. The HEI may reject one of the team member, or in case of a perceived conflict of interest. No, so the HEI will still have the approval on the visiting team. SSR, what is an SSR? So SSR is as mentioned earlier, there's a self-assessment before the actual accreditation. So there will be an SSR to be submitted no later than July 1 of that calendar year on when it will be conducted. No? And then this SSR will be the basis of the visiting team for their evaluation of the HEI. And then for final preparation for on-site review, so prior to arriving on-site or even virtually, the team will request several documents from HEIs to verify what you have put in the SSR. So this may be from official transcripts of records for the graduation of this program, or any additional documents that the visiting team needs to verify from the SSR. And then there's this on-site review. So before it was an on-site, but right now we can do virtual. And normally this is done in September until December. And then the normal schedule for an on-site review is at least 2.5 days. We suggest it to be a Sunday until Tuesday, so that on the first day there would not be much of students and everything. But now, with the current situation, it can be any day. No, so before, travel arrangements should allow enough time for everybody to be on site and everything. But right now, we have adjusted already on the virtual environment. On the exit meeting, this is after the evaluators have given their recommendations and everything. This is the meeting wherein the evaluation, final evaluation, well, not really final, the evaluation, initial evaluation of the evaluators will be presented to the executive officers and on which they would want to include on that meeting. No, and then after the visit, there's this 7-day response in which the program has 7 days to respond to the team chair in case of errors of fact. No, so which means they're just the typographical errors and everything. So they have 7 days to respond. After the 7 days, then there will be the evaluation will continue. Draft statement. So the draft statement is a letter. A document wherein the evaluation team has already summarized all of their evaluations and all of what they have seen on the programs. The institution during the exit statement, there would be a summarized already, and the institution may not have to wait until the draft statement has been sent. No, so they can already they could already address the shortcomings that the visiting team has found on their visit. And then draft statements are normally sent from December to February of the next year. Due process response. So after the draft statement has been sent, so you have 30 days after receipt to reply to the team chair of your response to the team's findings. Within these 30 days, like what I mentioned earlier, you don't have to wait for the draft statement. You can already address the concerns, the shortcomings after the exit visit, so that during these 30 days, you can already present to the team chair that you have done this, you've already addressed this, and you have addressed that, and so on. And then these due process responses are normally from February to April of the next year. Final statement. So the team chair will consult with the PAs as necessary and incorporates all of the findings and also with the 30 days due process. And they would be presenting the final statement to the CAC for final processing. This is normally done in May to June of the next year. And final action. Final action is on the meeting in July, normally in July of the CAC. All of the accredited, all of the request for accreditation will be reviewed by the CAC. No, so from each team chair, the team chair will be presenting all of the findings and everything, and then the CAC will be deciding on what actions, if it's accredited or not accredited, or there might be some or in between that needs to be done for them to be accredited. And then notification of final action after the meeting. So in July, then the HEI will be notified on what was decided by the CAC. So in summary, I'll just put in this one. So there's this 18 months. No, normally there's this 18 months timeline from the RFE to the creation of the on-site team members, until the sending of the SSRs and visiting the team, and then final draft statements, 30 days process, and everything. So in October of the next year, there will be the accreditation will be publicly released via the PCAB website. Okay, so I think that's the end of sorry. There's this the most important topic, no? Just to share with the fees that PCAB is offering. So for the service of a partial review of SSR, so we have 35,000. per program. And then for the review of self-study report, SSR, this is 50,000 for each program. It depends on how many programs you want to have accredited, so each 50,000. And for the on-site review or the virtual review, it's 100,000, regardless of number of programs evaluated. And before, there's this variable fee of accommodation, food, and travel. This has been minimized already because of our current situation. And then for the annual maintenance, so yearly, it's an annual maintenance of 40,000 until your accreditation has been revoked, and hopefully that will not be uh, reached. Okay, so I think that's the end of my presentation. So maybe we could go on the questions and answers.
Thank you, Sir Mar. And we would like to ask the participants to type in their questions at the Q&A box so that we can elevate it and read it for our speaker this afternoon. Anyone from the audience who would like to ask about PCAB?
So I'll be just showing for more details. You can contact our secretariat at this email address or this mobile number. And this is our website for the pickup. You can browse through the pickup website and you can download the criteria for your initial review. And you could also see on our website all of the accredited programs since 2015.
Thank you very much, sir, and thank you for showing the details. No,
Yes,
because for sure our participants are taking shot of the contact details. pcab.secretariat@philippinecomputersociety.org, and you can access more information. Most probably, all the materials shared here are accessible and readable at the website shown on your screen. So once again, thank you, PCAB, and thank you, Sir Mar. Thank you for collaborating with CSP, CSP, and for this conference also. It's nice to hear once again PCAB. FYI, I was once during the formation of PCAB, being the president of PSite during the time when PCAB was organized. Okay. So
Okay.
in this juncture, we would like to present our certificate of our appreciation, and we'll be sending our certificate of appreciation to Sir Mar Ian Novencido for having us here and for sharing his invaluable time to the fourth um, for this conference. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Daghang salamat, and that's actually the last part of our program before our formal closing. We had a very long day and enriching day once again, and tomorrow is another day. This is a back-to-back conference. Actually, as we all know, or to recap for the day, we started with two distinguished guests, invited speakers who talk about data science, who both emphasize on communication, interpretation of data, and so on and so forth. And in the afternoon, the um, the presentation of the Bachelor of Science in Data Science and Analytics. Perhaps it was an opportunity for us to discuss also on the possibilities, and at the same time opportunities and challenges in offering, though challenges in the sense perhaps of the administrative and operational and perhaps readiness when we offer a new program as such, Bachelor of Science in Data Science. And we are thankful to have also our friend from PCS, from PCAB, for presenting to us the accrediting body in relation to Seoul Accord. So with this, we hope that you learned something new and got something new also for this conference. In behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thanks all of you for staying with us. We are actually down to 69 participants, but for sure, you can access our recordings, and we would like to thanks also our YouTube viewers, because we are on live. As mentioned, please register also for tomorrow's activity, the Women's in Computing activity. It is hosted by CIT University. So I would like to give the screen back to our host, or back to our chairman of this conference. And before that, I would like to thank all of you for staying with us. Once again, this is Dave Marshall from Silliman University. Thank you very much. Greg, any
Okay.
announcement?
Okay, thank you, by Dave. Thank you very much for your patience of staying and keeping on being with us for the last 2 days. It's been an exciting journey, and do take note that this would always be a continuing journey for all of us, especially for us guys who have really stayed in the academia. Okay, and today I would like to again to announce the new members of the board of the CSP Special Interest Group for Information and Computing Education. And hopefully they're still around, although Cherry has already gone out because she's actually preparing for tomorrow's Women in Computing conference. But hopefully they're still around, the other members of the board. So from the Luzon area, so we have here Dr. Thelma Palawag. Okay, Dr. Thelma, can you enable your video or camera? Then we have Miss Arlene Trillanes from the National University. Then Dr. Jimmy Caro of UP Diliman. Then for Visayas, we have Victor Romero. Ah, okay. That's where I remember. So Victor. Okay. So Victor from UP Visayas Tacloban. Then we have Miss Eileen Vicente of UP Cebu. And then from SLSU, our partner and co-host of this conference, Dr. Francis Ray Padao. And then can we close the share screen? Okay, for a moment. Should I? Okay, so okay. Okay, for a moment. I'm just sharing. Okay, stop share. Okay, there. Okay, and then we have from Mindanao, we have Mr. Rabi Lavillas of MSU IIT. Then we have Kent Levi or Levi Bonifacio of Central Mindanao University. Did I say it right? Okay, Kent. And then from UIC, Miss Shiena Rhea Floribel. Okay. And with our board of advisors, well, welcome to the board of advisors, Cherry. So you have already accepted of being tagged as an elder. So one of the new members of the board of advisors for CSP-ICE, Dr. Cherry Santoromana, and along with these guys, Dr. Randy, Dr. Dave, and me being the youngest of the group. Okay, so it's something that I'm not proud of, but I really accept that kind of tagging. Okay, so with that said, these are the members of the board of the special interest group for information and computing education, and we would like to ask the different participants to continue supporting these members of the board, and as well as challenging them. Okay, so that at least they would be up to their feet and making sure that we would continue the advocacy of making our country be armed well in addressing issues, especially relating to anything about computing. So, with that said, being the one ad hoc individual being ad hocly assigned to do the closing, I just like to say thank you very much to all the participants who have stayed with us, to our co-host and partner of this fourth Information and Computing Education Conference of the Southern Leyte State University, led by Francis. And by the way, Francis, I forgot to say thank you to Dr. Pros. Hopefully, you can extend that one to her for graciously accepting this being a partner of ICE conference. And we look forward to everyone. And hopefully, we can be seeing each other physically next year. Hopefully, we'll be able to attain that herd immunity, and everyone will be safe. Okay, with respect to this virus, and I know for a fact that soon, very soon, we'll be able to end this one. And with that said, thank you very much. And it's been a pleasure working for everyone. And will now be closing the ICE 2021 conference. And in behalf of our MC, thank you, by Dave, for again graciously accepting the role of being an MC. I know it's not really an easy task, and but yet we did it well. So yesterday we had Francis, today we had Dave, and our secretariat, Alfred. So we still have something to do, especially with these certificates. So everyone, if ever you haven't signed up yet or participated in the evaluation, please do so, so that would also be our basis for the giving out of the certificate of participation and certificate of attendance. Okay, thank you very much for everyone. And as we always say, as I always say in Facebook, and also if ever you're celebrating birthdays or have some momentous affair, I would always say, let's live life to the fullest, live, love, and let's always celebrate life. Adelante to all, and may hapon. Atong tanan. Thank
May
you
hapon sa
and
tanan. Thank
goodbye.
you.
Okay. So I'll be stop uh, streaming. Yes. And recording. Okay, stop na din ang recording. Okay, bye for now.